Yeah, I know. I know, right? I wish I had a slate. I feel like that would look a little better, but what are you gonna do? You're trying to like lean into the calmer side of the. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, I'm just like, I realize that people can see when you're uptight or when you're, literally like trying to do something on
You have to
stage.
choke. You have to get it real close.
Yeah. People can see when you're actually like trying.
Yeah.
And this business works best when it looks like you're not trying, when things are just kind of like coming to you, even though you have a plan in it. Jesus.
I know.
Even,
right?
even
It's
though
all over the place. Sorry, keep going.
even though, even though you know exactly what's coming in your head, you still have to present it like it's just coming to you for the first time.
Yeah, presenting that ease almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of why I think people think comedy is easy, is because there's a bunch of great comedians making that shit look easy. And so you feel like you've hit that space. That's where your head's at.
Yeah, because the last few bombs that I've had, it's been because I really want this joke to work. I've been really trying to make this joke work instead of just saying it and letting it, just trusting it. I mean, I know that this is probably 101 to some people, but it's still, you learn when you learn.
Yeah, and everyone has their own process. Everyone has their own journey. So I get you there. Do you feel like when did this start to click for you?
It started to click first mic back in Chicago at Shakers. Like,
Oh shit.
no, I mean, I went up there and I melted down like I would when I would first start, because it was my first mic in a while, and
Yeah.
I just I reverted back to all the bad stuff. And
Wait, what is the bad stuff? What does that mean to you?
well, I mean, it was just like I started caring way too much about what people thought in the room, and then I started to acknowledge that I cared way too much about what people thought in the room, and then it just became this rabbit hole, and I just kept going down and down and down. And then Derek, who I'm not bullshitting, was about 12 shots and 12 cigarettes in.
Yeah.
He gets up there and he goes, "So how was that for you?"
That's how you know it didn't go well.
It was not good.
Yeah. That's I mean, it's part of the game. And it was your first mic back. How long had it been since you did stand up?
So the last show that I did 20 minutes for my last show at college, and I invited AJ Leidig down, and I mean, for 20 minutes I did terrible for 15, and then he tore the room up.
Really?
I mean, he did such a good job.
That's good to hear, man.
Yeah. But I liked inviting people like him and guys like you and Max and Mac O'Hara out in New York and Hannibal. I like, because you guys are better than me, and I looked at it like it's a learning experience.
Sure. Well, now that you're in Chicago, like, you're surrounded by it, and I
love it so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so for some context, because I doubt anybody's going to go back to our first episode.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I remember, if I remember correctly, I was really off that day. I remember saying over and over, like, I feel like I'm ruining this. I feel like this is terrible. So I'm glad we're getting to do this.
No, my
again.
ego was raised so much because you invited me on.
Really?
And then this time around, it's like, we're just chilling.
That's I think, a good headspace to be in. And it's hard to, like, it's like when you get a win, the ego goes up, and then you get a hard loss, and it goes back down. And it is a wacky job we have.
I like it, though.
Yeah.
I like that, because, I mean, you can have the best night of your life and then the worst night of your life following right afterwards.
Do you feel like you're addicted to the ups and downs, or what is that?
I hate losing. That's the thing. Like, I hate not doing well. I hate not performing well. So that's like the thing. I won't be satisfied with myself if I just stop.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. This will be interesting, because I was talking. Do you know Derek Strong?
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking to him on the podcast.
He doesn't know me, but I know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Derek, you listen to this. Meet Jack. When he came on the podcast, we were talking about his philosophy is that stand-up comedy is not competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that you don't like losing, implying that there is a sense of competition.
It's not a competition amongst other comedians. I'm not trying to do better than another person. Like, I'm just trying to figure out my craft.
Right.
It's more so like I love the satisfaction of winning the room over and then telling the joke that knocks everybody on their ass. So like when I don't get those two things, that's where the competition comes. Like I'm competing against myself.
Derek's gonna love you. He's gonna lose his shit over that answer. Yeah, go ahead, message him, Derek. Message him on Instagram. I'm with you, especially the winning the crowd over. There's a weird. Obviously, it's great to just kill front to back, but there is something about them not liking you in the beginning and then they warm up to you. It feels like you earned something.
Yeah. Well, especially when I play in crowds in Midtown and anything on the north side, it's almost like because there's 14 different comedians that look exactly like this face, I have to stand out in some type of way. And, you know, finding out how I stand out is really the cool niche. And but
how do you feel? Okay, so that's I think I agree that's important. I mean, there's so many comedians, there's only so many perspectives, and finding your little tiny sliver of a lane is important. How do you go about standing out? Or how do you think you go about standing out?
I had two mentors in college who told me basically the same thing. Originality is overrated. I mean, you can there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, you have to be able to take ideas from the past and then recreate them into your own. Because I remember like watching Whose Line Is It Anyway on ABC Family as a kid growing up, and some of the little quips that like Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery, Wayne Brady and all them, when they I'll sometimes repeat what they said verbatim on the show just because it's so burned into my brain because it was so funny to me when I was a kid. It's like, there's no way it's not going to work now. And then it doesn't because it's somebody else's.
Right. I guess it's like finding your voice. Oh, my bad.
Exactly.
It's yeah. So I'm about 8 years in. How long have you been doing this?
I would say I have about a solid year under my belt.
Okay.
About 6 months to a year, somewhere in there.
I think everyone has their own, like we were saying, everyone has their own lane, process, time. I feel myself finally having my own voice. It feels nice. Like, I'm trying to think when's the moment. Okay. I'm assuming your goal is to be undeniable.
What do you mean by that?
Undeniable to me means whether somebody likes you or dislikes you, whether somebody on a personal level thinks you're funny or not. They acknowledge like you are good at this. For Dave Chappelle. Whether you hate this man or not, whether you find him offensive or not, he's put in the time. He has shown pretty much objectively, like, okay, he is a master at this craft. Or to put it in film, fucking Martin Scorsese. Whether you like his movies or not, and if you don't like him, you're wrong. But whether you like his movies or not, like, he is just such a fucking master. He's made classics, and he is to me an undeniable filmmaker.
Okay.
I was having so I don't know. Okay, this is my one flex, and I've been talking about it a little too much recently, but I'm excited about it. So I got to hang out with Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, man.
And
you don't know how jealous I am of that, because that's so cool.
That's
awesome, man.
It was really crazy. So I wasn't on the show with him. I came with Rachel Hall. She was opening for him, and first few hours, I think it was like the first show, I didn't even go near anybody. I just went to the bar and minded my business, and then I met his opener, and we were talking or whatever, and they were basically like, okay, yeah, you're not crazy. You can come up to the green room and like hang out. And when I first met him, I was really hesitant. Like, I don't know if there's how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. Did you grow up watching Anthony?
Yeah, I did. So there was Shakespeare, then Thoughts and Prayers, and then Caligula, and then...
Oh, you know the names and the titles.
Dude, I'm a fan, man.
So I grew up watching him, too. My main thing was, like, on Comedy Central, I remember watching him on the roasts.
With Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and I'm like, oh, shit, Like, you're the guy I fucking watched as a kid. Like, you're fucking here and you're talking to me. And at first it was this spike of like anxiety and like I
course.
hope I don't fucking get weird or whatever. And then he said, I can't remember what it was, but he said something I disagreed with internally. I didn't say it out loud because I felt like that would be I'm not going to walk in and be like, by the way, buddy, this is how I feel about your statement that you just made. But he said something I disagreed with. And internally, I was like, that anxiety went away. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is just like a guy that does this. He does what I do, and I'm very impressed. And he's like in my top 10 for sure. But it just humanized him for a second for me. And so I ended up talking with him like a lot because he's in the green room, and I don't have shit to do. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about being undeniable. And I was like, when did you feel like you were undeniable? And he said, when I would tell a joke that I knew was funny, whether the audience laughed or not, which is a very Anthony Jeselnik way of.
I know exactly what he means when he says that, though.
Please.
Because he's like, it's just been battle tested. It's been proven too much. Also, he loves that fucking joke.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so funny to him. And he's going to tell that joke every single time because it works for him. Mm-hmm. And it's just finding those jokes that they're undeniable to you so they can be undeniable to other people.
Okay, not to give pushback to that.
Okay.
I'm sure we go to open mics, so we see open mic comedy. Okay. And that's not always of quality. You ever seen a comic who keeps doing the same shit over and over again and it's not fucking working? And in their head, like, where's that line between undeniable and delusional?
Well, undeniable is it's almost like earning it, just like you talked about, just like that joke bombed, but I don't know, just like something about this concept, something about this, just the way that I feel about it, there's something different about it. I'm going to keep working it. I'm going to keep tweaking it. And then when you see that same joke again, it's been reworked, it's been reshopped, and it's it appears brand new. That's an undeniable joke. Like when delusional is telling the same joke over and over and over again without changing it, but undeniable is like it's persistence.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to give up on this joke versus I'm going to tell this joke over and over and over again. There's a massive difference.
It's strange to people that are delusional are strange to me.
It's you just look at them and they're looking back at you like they're making sense.
Yeah, but they're
no.
And you would think, and that's what I like. You would think in stand-up, it's not like music where you can play your song and nobody can, like, you don't have to perform it necessarily, and you can think, oh, my song's good, or you can draw something, and nobody is in real time reacting to that drawing, especially probably going to be mean. Like, most people aren't going to be mean or about your paintings, but with stand-up, it's so immediate. Like, if they're not laughing, I don't know. I'm sure you feel it, and I find it interesting when I see those people who just don't feel. They don't feel that they're bombing. It's crazy.
Well, I think it was. God, I'm so pretentious. I think it was Norm Macdonald. He was asked a question like, "Would you rather bomb a year straight, but comedians think you're hilarious, or would you rather never make a comedian laugh and make every room laugh?" And it's like, I would rather make every room laugh. I don't give a fuck what other comedians have to say. I think that's what he means by saying like undeniable.
Yeah. Derek's gonna love you. I can't say. He's gonna love this episode. He's gonna love everything you're gonna say. Sorry, keep going.
Well, I mean, dude, I work with this person.
Okay.
Instagram influencer. So you already know the type. Shaving her legs in the middle of the store.
In like a Walmart?
No, I work in a fucking jewelry store.
That's
right?
even weirder.
She just hikes her pants up and just starts shaving her legs with an electric razor.
Yeah.
And I walk up to my boss and I'm like, is she shaving her legs in the middle of the store right now?
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want me to go clip my toenails in the lounge? Because this is just, how are you that, how does it not click to you? I'm sorry, you said delusional, and that was the first thing I thought of.
No, and it's okay. So in that same vein, and to pull back on our asshole pretentious behavior, because I'm with you. Hey man, I'm with you. Like, okay. Remember when we first met?
Dude, it's so Dude, it's so weird. It's like we're self-conscious enough to know what's good and what's not, but we're also not good enough to make that judgment.
It's like, I would say before I moved to Chicago, and even that first year in Chicago. So when you met me, I was delusional. I would say I was delusional. Like, I wouldn't. Okay, so I'm Riverside, California. You know that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So I've been to where you went to college. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that empty. Wow, man. I don't know how you did that for 4 years or however long you were doing it.
A lot of drugs and alcohol.
It's college. But where I was from, like, in my head, I was like, okay, I'll just work really hard here, and then it'll just happen. And then I come out to Chicago, and I'm like, whoa. Oh, I have been not wasting my time, because I've been on the grind. I've been doing my craft. But in terms of momentum in this business, I've not even scratched the surface of it. Like, I was delusional. I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then that first year, the way I approached comedy, the way I approached people, I just was delusional. I didn't understand what I was doing. And now, I'm sure 2 years from now, I'll look back and be like, yeah, but when I was 32, I was a fucking idiot. I was delusional. I didn't know. I'm going to look back on this and regret this. But now I feel like, okay, I get how to approach this. And I'm doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck was I going with this statement? Delusion?
Well,
when I first met you, I remember. How would you describe it, actually?
I wanted to be friends with you so badly, and I was in such a bad place that when you initially rejected me, I hated every second of it.
Wait, you thought I rejected you?
Yeah, because like I'd walked up to. God, I think this is why I was so mad at him that one time. But I walked up. It was at Taylor Street. Taylor Street Tap. It was on a Monday. Brian Rowe was there. Olivia Carter was there. And you were there. You were like the first three.
Yeah.
And I went up to all three of you individually. You were the only one that talked to me.
Okay.
But admittedly, I was an asshole. And I came off like an asshole. So... It once I felt like nobody gives a shit, that was such an immediate and valuable lesson. But I was delusional like you. I was delusional to the point where I said I wasn't delusional, which is even more delusional than people who recognize that they're delusional.
There's a lot of delusion going on.
So much.
Also, I'm sorry that you thought I rejected you. I don't know if we talked about this. I remember feeling like, oh, you're really young and cocky. But I don't feel like internally I was trying to reject you. What was I? I'm going to have to restart the thing. Hold on 1 second.
No worries.
What gave you the impression that I rejected you? In fact, what does rejection mean to you?
Just like, well, I mean, I work in sales, so I can tell when people are paying attention, when people are not.
Okay.
So, like, it was just the body language. Like, I just kind of read like this. You meager cocky. You don't know what's coming yet.
I'm gonna apologize now for that reaction then, because
I had that same thing from literally everybody, because I was so nah.
I remember you coming off very cocky. But I also remember, and I think I said this, I remember kind of seeing myself in you. I remember being like, oh yeah, I'm sure.
I knew I could come back. Does that make sense? Like, it took a little time to warm up to everybody else, but like I knew there was a presence about you where it's just like we could probably have a conversation and keep talking. Yeah.
I also didn't know anybody.
Neither did I.
Yeah. So it was... Now the time has gone by, and things have, I know where the buses and shit are, and like I know where I am. It feels easier to interact with people a little bit, baby steps. But then you spent it was like a few months here.
Yeah, I did the Second City Comedy Studies internship thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
I would not shut the hell up about it. I was so proud of that. That was like my thing.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then I went back to school to finish up my degree.
And your degree is in film?
English.
Oh.
English writing.
Are you? Oh, okay. So you go to Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
What university was it?
DePaul.
DePaul. You're in Indiana. You're back in college. What happened? Like, because I didn't lose contact with you. We've stayed in mild contact,
Yeah.
but I don't know what your life was day to day. So you go back. What happens?
I came back. I'm the man, dude. I'm Second City, graduated. I've been in Chicago. I'm the stand-up comedian on campus. And then my first show, terrible. And in front of I tried all the jokes that worked in front of hardened Chicago citizens who don't give a shit about anybody. And then I went back to really cuddly academics. And the material just did not translate. And I think I was on stage for like 30 minutes in front of all my fraternity brothers, and nobody's laughing. Yeah.
It's funny. The thing I usually when people are like, I'm scared to do comedy, and it's like, the thing I usually say to make them feel better is you never have to see those people again. But in your case,
no, and it almost provided a little bit of a redemption, because after that I was like, everybody in Chicago told me that I needed to improve, and I said fuck all of them. And then I got back to school and I tried all the stuff that I thought would work, and it didn't work. And so I was like, I really have to adjust. So I started a mic. I just kept workshopping stuff. And then originally there was an art walk that we did this thing called Art Walk. And that was the idea, like, I can bring you down. And, like, the idea was that, like, I'm going to show you how much better I'm doing.
Me personally?
Yes, you.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
And it was also like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show my friends, I'm going to show my girlfriend, my family I can do this. And you came down. You were about 10 minutes late.
Yeah, the time zone.
You
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You were about 10 minutes late, and I did 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I did 30 minutes, and I would say for 30 minutes, I did phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. That's a very long time for someone that's been doing it like less than a year. That's a crazy amount of time.
I did phenomenal, and it felt so gratifying because I hadn't made any of them laugh before.
Mm-hmm.
So it did still feel like I got to get this challenge, and then came down, and that's still one of the best nights of my life.
Really?
Yeah, that was
awesome.
one of the best nights ever.
I remember we were late, and I remember on the way there we realized the time change was going to happen, and we messaged you, and we park, and it's a college, we don't know what the fuck we are, and so we're running around. I remember running into it looked like a cafeteria.
Yes.
And you're on stage, and I'm pretty sure we were yelling at each other from the stage. Something happened.
Yep.
Did I yell at you, or did you yell at me?
I saw you walk in. I was like, "What's up, Eric?"
That audience must have been very confused. Yeah, I remember that, and I remember it was a great audience. It was a lot of fun.
And then you came back.
Yeah. However many, like a year later, I think.
No, it was in November. He came back for a show. It was like right near Thanksgiving break. I never inviting my professors again.
Oh, did they not?
No, one professor said I got too drunk, so I couldn't enjoy it. And then one professor was like, "Yeah, I just don't think I think that you have a lot of talent, but your comedy style isn't for me."
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's actually very respectful.
That's what I got a lot in senior year when I would invite people to shows. Because after the show with you, I was like, come on out. Everybody, I got a lot of confidence, and I kind of built that while I was at school.
I do remember a sense of maturing. It's interesting how you don't see somebody for a while, and then you see them again, and maybe I'm a narcissist, but I forget, like, what is it? Object permanence. I forget other people are living their lives.
Me too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're living your life and you're so focused on you that when you see somebody and it's been a while, you're like, oh shit, yeah, you
are
didn't just
still
Are you,
here.
Yeah, you had experiences too. And
That's
things.
crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna be visiting. I haven't really told anybody this. I'm gonna be visiting Riverside for the first time in almost 3 years.
Wow.
In
You excited about that?
I have a lot of feelings, which I guess we'll talk about because this is the feelings podcast.
You're such a fucking hippie.
I don't know, man. I'm just growing into myself, man. What do you know about Riverside? Because I know I've talked about it around you, but I don't remember what I've said.
I know that some people are not fans of Aaron Chase over there. I know that that's vaguely true.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
So
Breaking Bad. You said
Breaking
you mentioned Breaking Bad a fuck ton.
Because that's the best way to describe it. Like visually, that's the people. When people in the Midwest, when you hear California, it's like, oh, the beach. It's like, oh man, like it's not all the beach. But when I first moved, there was this visceral hatred to Riverside. Like I hated it. I hated Riverside, and for a long time. In fact, most of these podcasts early on were me just talking shit about Riverside in a lot of ways because of trauma in life or whatever. And now it's been almost 3 years, and now it's like, it's not hatred. It's like a mixture. It's like curiosity and a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of excitement. It's a mixture of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember going back to Nashville after the most volatile breakup of my life.
We got to get. Sorry, I wrote that down too. We got to get into that, but
Yeah, no, I remember moving back to Nashville, and it's just like you're just looking around, like, am I going to see? It just this anxiety just grows and grows. And I was going to be the starting catcher for the New York Mets when I was 14 years old, and then life. It's just you just feel uneasy. But
when you went back?
Yeah, but like now that I go back, I feel like I'm so far removed from who I was that it does not even matter. So, that's about what you're going through?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm really far removed from it. Very much removed from it. And I think going back will give me some sense of closure. Like I feel like where I grew up and all of that shit that happened to me just really like deep. It left so many scars that I've spent time healing and sometimes reopening on accident and being like, fuck, I gotta give me a needle and thread. Let me fix this up again. Yeah. And going back, I think will put into perspective what I really went through. Like how much was inflated in my head, how much is very real. How did people really dislike me as much as I thought? Do people actually like me? Like how do I personally feel when I'm in these spaces where all of this life has happened? And I just have a lot of feelings. And I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm very, very excited to see my grandmother.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
Yeah,
inside that hard exterior is just
this angry man is so squishy on the inside. Yeah, I not people aren't gonna live forever, and it's been 2 and some odd years, and it's like I'm ready. I'm ready to see my family. I'm ready. I'm sure they'll get on my fucking nerves. I'm sure of it. I'm not gonna lie to myself and think like, oh, it's gonna be rosy and peaches when I see them. I'm sure they're gonna get on my fucking nerves. But I'm finally in a place where I can like appreciate that time. And I think part of it is I know I'm gonna come back. It's not like I'm moving back, you know. But maturing and changing. Yeah. When I first met you that girlfriend. Do you want to make up a name, or what do you want to do?
We'll just say,
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
So, if I remember correctly, you were with this girl for 2-3 years.
Yeah, about 2 years.
I think you were engaged.
Yes.
Whew. Gives me shivers. I know. Isn't it weird how you? Ooh, I can't wait to get your opinion of this. But you guys were engaged.
Mm-hmm.
She cheated?
No.
Okay.
That's that. It was more so like the direction of the relationship that we were going, and also we lived 4.5 hours away, and
you were engaged?
yeah, it was like
So good.
yeah, not the wisest of choices.
No. What do you think? Okay, in retrospect, what do you think was going on in your head?
I was thinking, this is it. This is amazing. I'm never going to find anybody else. I can't believe I got this lucky. And then we got to know each other for real.
How did you guys get to know each other for? Like, what happened?
So we had been in high school together for about 4 years, and then just out of the blue, just one day we just ran into each other in the hallway. I think it was like a coincidence, and then I took her on a date, and then everything kind of progressed from there, and then dude, it
just got bad.
I mean, sometimes just two people aren't meant to be together, and you don't know that when you've only been together with someone for 3 goddamn months, and then you decide the rest of my life, let's do it.
You proposed after 3 months?
I proposed after 3 months.
What did your guys? How old were you when you proposed?
I was 18, and she was 18 as well.
Okay. And how did your families feel about that?
We did not tell them.
Okay, and they never found out.
No, we told them after about a year.
You told them that you proposed 3 months in after a year.
Yeah.
Then how did they feel?
That was really the beginning of the end.
Okay.
For lack of a better term, I mean, there were so many things, and then COVID happened on top of all of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We moved into one of her parents' places, and then we had 100% complete and total access to each other at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And it drove us absolutely up the wall. And I mean, here's the thing. In retrospect, I don't regret it, because it shaped who I am, and because it shaped a lot of my experiences, and because I would not be the person I am today had I not been through all that shit.
Yeah.
And that, even though that's the only solace that I can take out of it, that's still a great place to be with it. And I don't look back on, like, sometimes I'll think back on the memories and I don't immediately want to shut down and hate myself. You know, it's just, now I look back on those and I just think,
that's what happened.
It's what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm healthy. I'm so much better now. I'm in a fantastic relationship. Everything about it is, I mean, it's almost too good to be true with this relationship. Like, everything has been working phenomenally.
That's very good to hear. I have 2 things. The first thing is, I think it should be a fucking requirement that 2 people live together for a year minimum before they get engaged. Because, like you were saying, you don't know somebody until you're in a space with them. And you got to see how they deal with the toothbrush, and do they leave the cap open or not open? Do they wash their dishes or not? Like, yeah. And that, yeah. Wait, what did she, actually, no.
No, I don't care.
Is she going to watch this? She doesn't give a fuck.
She doesn't give a shit.
What were the things that were like?
Dishes, laundry, sweeping.
Oh, she wasn't clean.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, never. I mean, like, it's hard. It's hard because, like, she was going through mental illness and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you got to pick up your end of the couch at least on like one day of the week.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening.
Yeah. Then the second thing I was going to say was, I remember when you first started talking about this new girl, I remember early on and getting concerned. Now I'm less concerned because it's been some time. You guys damn near lived with each other in the dorm.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so you got that, you know this person.
Very well.
I don't know her. She seemed like a very nice person.
She is tougher than I could ever be.
Look at the soft in you, man.
I'm so much more intelligent.
Is she gonna listen to this, you think?
100%.
Okay.
And I love you, sweetheart. And no, the thing about it is though, like, it's nice to be with someone that respects what you do and pushes you to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Mm-hmm. And I mean, enough needs to be said about that, because just based on how this is going versus how the last time went and blah blah. I mean, we've been talking about it, but like, I'm just in such a better place. You
seem like it. I was gonna get more into that, but I remember when you started talking about her, when you were that same like passion. You seem to love a lot. Like you. It seems like when you get into a relationship,
you just love a lot, man.
Yeah. It's that hippie shit, man. But it seems like, and I have a lot of respect for this. It's something let me work on myself. Hold on, some context.
Let's do that self-talk.
Okay,
Let's do that self-talk.
So what I was going to say, and I now retract, is that is something I envy about you. I retract this statement. Let me elaborate. You're going to be episode 111, this one.
Ooh.
Isn't that crazy?
I like that.
I have talked to a lot of comedians.
That's awesome.
And through most of it, especially that first year, there was a lot of me saying, I envy this about you. I like this about you. I wish I had this about you. And I'm trying to no longer say that. So I will say that is something I have respect for about you. That when you get into a relationship, you are fucking in it. You give all of the love and the attention and the care and the support, and that is something that hold on.
Yep.
I didn't break it, did I? No, I didn't break it. Okay.
You didn't break it?
I did not break it.
Beautiful.
I'm fucking upset. No, but you put your all into it, and it seems like you're a lover, man. You're a lover. You're not a fighter. And you seem to be very aware of that, and it's a good thing. As far as the envy aspect of it, I'm learning how to accept who I am, and I am not you. I'm not, when it comes to relationships and dating and romance, I think I tried to be you for so many years and it just fell apart over and over again. And so I'm kind of trying to lean into who I am and what works for me and what I love about me, rather than what I want or what I wish I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I remember when you started talking about her, I got concerned. I remember I was like, "Oh no, Jack, don't do this. Don't do the same thing. No." But it really does seem like it's much better. Mm-hmm. And you've just changed. You've matured so. It's crazy. Like I guess we do have the audio of that first time, which I'm sure you would love to be buried in the earth. Go back and listen to it, Derek Strong.
Please don't.
I was off too.
Hey, I want to make friends here. Please don't listen to anything I've ever done. Start from scratch here.
You brought something up that I thought was interesting, and I don't get to talk about much with young folk your age. How old were you when lockdown started?
I was 19.
So you graduated.
I had graduated high school. I was in my first year of college.
That is crazy to me. Mm-hmm. Anybody that was in like their first, second year of college, or was in high school, or just in grammar school in general during COVID, that's crazy. Like I've talked to all of these comics out here, and they're all fucking old and grizzled. So their experience of quarantine was after college for most of them.
Yeah.
What was that? Your freshman year?
So what happened? I was on the baseball team at the time, and we had just got done with our only JV game. In 2 years of college baseball, I got one at bat. And that one at bat, I walked up to Dre Day.
They play music for you to walk up to?
Yeah, at a JV college game, I got one at bat. I walked up to Dre Day. The whole dugout was bumping, and I grounded out to the shortstop on the very first pitch.
That's bad?
That's horrible.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, now I'm here. Yeah. So we just got done with that game, and then the coach said, "Hey, you guys are being sent home." Remember that thing that we were all making fun of before the game about how it's being affected in different parts of the country? Well, one person got it here in the athletics department, so we have to send everybody home. And what had happened was the school gave everybody a week. Okay?
We were so naive.
The school gave the frats, dorms, sororities, everybody, you got to be out in a week. Everybody went batshit insane that first night. Like, let's get as fucked up as possible. And it got so bad that the noise complaints, they made one frat and one sorority move out that night, and then got an email the next morning saying everybody had to go home that day. But I mean, we had like thousands of liters of alcohol, and we had so much weed. Like, what are we going to do with all that? And we did like 2 months of online school. I remember submitting an assignment that was due in May and like the first week of August.
Yeah. Like,
nobody did shit. We had to go back. And I moved into a fraternity house. Like that was my first semester in a fraternity house. It was COVID. So we had literally nothing to do but do drugs, exercise, and drink. I'm
glad you added exercise in the middle there.
Well, I mean, we had to spruce it up somehow.
Sure.
Like, we had to play spike ball. We set up a volleyball net, but like, I mean, if class is at 8, you just open the laptop at 7:59, turn the camera off when you want to rip a bowl, turn the camera off when you want to take a shot, turn the camera off when you want to play Xbox. Like, it just, like, school just did not happen.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, part of me, okay. And when I think back to my college experience, there's a little piece of me that's like, that sounds dope. But yeah. Can we break that down more? What was
the first month, man? It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing because, like, you go into the liquor store, nobody's there. You can just buy out the shelf. I was friends with a few weed dealers and everything. So it was just, let's see how high and how drunk we can get every single day.
Yeah.
And for a month, it's amazing. And then for the next 3 to 6 of doing that, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, and the idea that also we're, like, it dawned on us, like, we're having the time of our lives. Well, there are people on campus who don't feel safe enough to walk outside of their own dorm. Like, the guilt came.
Did you feel, you're in a frat house, so there's a lot of people. And you, legally speaking, or I don't know the rules.
We couldn't have more than 25 people over at a time.
Okay.
Everybody could live in the house. You couldn't have more than 10 people in the kitchen at a time.
That sounds like you were going to get COVID regardless. But whatever.
You're supposed to stay in your room for the majority of the day with the door closed.
So prison.
And so it's just, we said, fuck that. We're going to get, or we're just going to do our own thing. And people still came over. Like, we broke the rules all the time. And that's why COVID spread on campus all the time.
I believe that. And it's, during that time, I think I would have had a lot more judgment of that. But then in retrospect, it's like, man, I was not 19, 20 in college and having to deal with, I don't know how I would have handled all of this. And in my situation, I was living in my grandma's garage. So for me, it was like, okay, I mean, easy. Very easy to distance myself, and I don't want to kill my grandma like we've established. So, because that squishy thing inside my heart.
Well, and my dad is also immunocompromised.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't go home.
Yeah. Yeah, it would, I mean, do you? And you can't go back in time, but do you wish things were different? Okay.
And I wish, more than anything, I just wish that people had. I wish people had just acknowledged the effect that it was having on those who it affected.
Can you elaborate on that?
Like, people talked about COVID like it didn't exist. People talked about
on campus.
On campus, in the town that we were in. Like, people talked about COVID like it didn't exist. And, you know, I know someone whose wife died of COVID. And
my uncle died too. It was pretty awful.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And to say that it didn't happen, to just plainly say you didn't die of what you think you died of, that is so arrogant. And more than anything, I just wish people had that empathy for those who were truly affected by it.
Yes.
Like the people who's driving around in a mask, like just driving with a mask on. It's like, go fuck yourself. But, you know, it was not hard to wear a mask in public. It was not hard. It wasn't as hard as people said it was. And to insult those that were truly affected by it, it makes my stomach turn.
Yeah. You're in Indiana, and I'm trying to, I was in California.
That's Mike Pence territory.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he was the governor, so
And I remember I made that joke that first time when I showed up, driving through villages, people that are in, not shacks, but there's just nothing. And so their perception of the world is just very different. I wonder, I don't know, how do you have an idea of what your generation will be like when your generation is 30? When your generation is my age, how do you think you guys will be? What do you think you'll look back?
There's going to be so much regret.
Okay, I'm listening.
I mean, just the way that people are chronically online, the way that people have made their lives about the internet and everything, it's not good. And I think that a lot of people are going to look back. You can't find any Vines these days.
Oh yeah.
You can't find anything. You can't find any iFunny memes because we've just kind of erased that from our past. And I think people are going to try to do that with all the TikTok and
good luck. The internet's forever.
Sure, but exactly. But I think we're just going to see just this slow. I don't want to acknowledge all the things that have happened.
Man, well, you made it out. You survived.
No, the fuck we didn't. It's still going on.
Yeah,
people talk about COVID like it disappeared. It's no.
It's still, yeah. I
everybody got a shot, so we're fine now.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, though. Not everybody.
We really could not get on the same page. I really I thought I think I think I've become very disillusioned because everything I thought is wrong. Okay, so I remember being a kid. I remember the 90s, and we were told, dude, I fucking remember this. We were told, it's just gonna, once you become, it's gonna get better. And I was told, you go to college, and then you're gonna be successful. And I was told, and that shit didn't happen. I was told, racism, we fixed Martin Luther King. He killed racism. It's over. That's not true. I remember thinking, the president's a fucking figurehead. It doesn't really matter who the president is. And then I found out
it absolutely does.
Not only does it matter, but it matters in a way I never thought it would, in that whoever the president is dictates the vibe. I know that's some hippie shit to say.
He's like the DJ of the country.
Yes. That's a really good way to. He's playing the tracks, and he's playing crazy tracks. And the vibe of the country for 4 years was insane. And then quarantine happened, and I thought okay, well, we have proper organization, we have a government, we have a system. It'll be fun. It'll be 3 weeks. No, we didn't have nothing ready. It was crazy. All of it was crazy, and I continue to just feel wrong about everything. Every year that goes by, I look back and I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I was wrong about that too?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's good, right? To continue, like, I don't think you should look back and if you look back at your 16-year-old self and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty much the same. That's
a bad thing.
It's a really bad sign. But you to bring this full circle, you've gone through so much, man. You've gone through so much. You've lived through it, and seeing it in pieces has been a real like joy. It's been really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been.
Thank you.
Yeah, it has been so cool seeing someone grow and like, I don't know, fall and get back up again, dust yourself off, and it's not over. You were 22. It's not even close to over, but
No, I'm common, man.
but it's crazy. It's crazy to see. I guess probably wrap it up here. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Ooh, let's play this game. I did this with Claire,
Ooh,
and it looked really dope.
Okay.
Okay. I like this. I really like this game. So the camera is you 5 years from now.
Oh.
You're talking to yourself 5 years from now. What do you want to say to yourself? You got plenty of time. You got 5-6 minutes on the thing.
All right. Well, first and foremost, hopefully you made a little more money than you have right now, because your savings is down to cents. But, dude, you came really far and a long way. He is living proof. Just keep going. Whatever it is, keep going. If you're acting, if you're doing stand-up, if you're in comedy writing, if you're just living your life, just keep going. And, if you're happy, stay that way. Do everything possible to stay that way, and give back somehow. You're not there yet. You're not mature or strong enough right now to give back, but hopefully in 5 years you will be. So give back, man.
All right, let's do this picture.
The picture.